everyone stand up and pick up a leaders? Someone please lead a prayer in front. Okay, thank you. Now, good morning everyone. You can now take your seats. So before we start our discussion, I want you to do some activities first. So, what words can you find in that puzzle? I put 3. There are 3 words. It is related to our topic, by the way. The first one is maturation. Ano pa? Disequilibrium. And the last one is equilibrium. So our topic is about Gesell's cognitive development theory. But before we start our formal discussion, I want to introduce first what is child development theory. The child development theory refers to the ideas of early pioneers in the field about children and their growth, including their cognitive, emotional, and physical development. It is how the child or the children grow. It is how their growth affect their behaviors, ganon. Since our topic is cognitive development of Gesell, sino nga ba si Gesell? Arnold Gesell was a psychologist and pediatrician who studied the way children mature. While studying both physical and intellectual development of children, Gesell developed his maturation theory. So, what is maturation theory? Arnold Gesell's maturation theory says that younger children's development occurs in stages that are not strictly correlated to age. Gesell focused on 4 areas: the cognitive, the motor, language, and social development. He suggested that children will go through the same stage of development. By the use of his observation, he identified that the typical age of children at which specific skills are acquired. For example, is the identified sequence for motor skill development and the identified age, which is the skill is typically mastered. So, for example of this again to clarify is the 1-year-old. Let's use the 1-year-old or as our examples. So in 1-year-old, diba, babbling, he cannot talk straightly. Babbling, taking solid foods, ganon. And he classify it into the smooth. We will tackle what that smooth is as we go on through our lessons. He discovered that development is a cyclical or spiral development of Gesell. And the children go through 6 stages as they acquire new abilities. Gesell termed these stages as the smooth. The first one is the smooth. These ages at least 2 years old. Yes, 2 years old. The second one is break up. It's 2.5 years old or 2 years old and 6 months. Sorting out at 3 years old. Inwardizing. it is 2 years old and a half or 3 years old and 6 months. Expansion at the 4 years old. Fitting together is 4 years old and a half or 4 years old and 6 months. These stages represent the way children acquire, understand, and synthesize learning. When children reaches the final stage, which is the fitting together, they are now able to make sense of new informations. Gesell concluded that when children reach a stage in which life seems easy, they are experiencing what we call equilibrium. He called more difficult periods disequilibrium. Or in equilibrium, it is you can deal the child easily. Ganon. Parang they're easily to take care of. Ganon. And when in disequilibrium is they are behaving more and became more problematic to handle. Ages under equilibrium is 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old and a half or 6 years old and 6 months, 8 years old, 10 years old, and so on. Ages under disequilibrium is 18 months. So, if we convert 18 months into years, it is 1 year and 6 months. 2 years old and a half old. Or 2 years old and 6 months. 3 years old and 6 months. 4 years old and 6 months. 5 years old and 6 months. 7 years old, 9 years old, or 11 years old, and so on. Kung mapapansin natin sa ages, there is a half year gap or the 6 months gap in every stages. So, bakit nga ba? Gesell believes na every 6 months of each ages is uncontrollable yung behaviors or characteristics nila. For example is, mas lalong naiintindihan. I will give examples for us to more understand the differences of equilibrium and disequilibrium, or kung bakit nga ba meron siyang gap na 6 months or instead of ilang years pa. For example is a 1-year-old child na makulit, ganon. And according to Gesell's observation, mas kumukulit siya when that child reaches a 1-year-old and half years old. Or a 1 year and 6 months. Another example is a 5-year-old child na may katigasan ng ulo, ganon. When the child reaches 5 years old and 6 months, mas matigas na yung ulo niya and it is hard to deal with. Ganon po. So, in generalization is, Arnold Gesell is a psychologist and a pediatrician who studied the way children mature. Gesell developed his maturation theory and introduced it in the year 1925. Arnold Gesell maturation theory says that young development occurs in the stages that are not strictly correlated to age. He discovered that the development of children is cyclical or spiral development of the cell. He named it after his name, of course. children go through 6 stages as they acquire new abilities. Gesell termed this as smoother, break up, sorting out, inwardizing, expansion, and fitting together. So, the difference of equilibrium in this equilibrium is, in equilibrium, these are the ages of the children na madali nating maintindihan or madali nating i-handle yung mga ugali nila or yung styles nila, characteristics nila, ganon. While in disequilibrium is sila yung mahirap na i-handle, mahirap na pagsabihan, ganon. So that ends our lesson for today, the Gesell's maturation theory. Any more clarifications or questions before we dismiss? Okay, now everybody stand up and goodbye, class. Thank you.